Well guys, it's a big day. Today might just be the most monumental day in history for the average one-handed typing Twitch watcher. We have truly found ourselves down a dark path, people. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then bless your little hearts. A few days ago, I made a video on Twitch's latest meta, and if you haven't seen that video or one like it, you might want to give that a watch to understand what we're going to be talking about today. But to give you a real brief rundown, over the last couple of weeks, there has been a new meta that has emerged on Twitch, where some women were going onto Twitch, getting naked, keeping certain bits just off camera, and then would shake those certain bits when they got things like donations and subscriptions. Now, as you might have imagined, this caused a bit of a kerfuffle on the internet. A lot of people were in support of it, a lot of people weren't happy about it. But regardless whatever side you were on, you can't argue that what these women were doing was clearly against the Twitch terms of service. These streams were violating multiple rules in the terms of service, and since most of the women doing this have received bans. Temporary bans, but still bans. Now you might hear this and think, okay, well, it seems like Twitch has kind of said their piece. Maybe they didn't want to permanently ban these women because there was some fogginess in the terms of service, but with these bans being handed out, they've made themselves pretty clear. We probably won't see streams like this anymore, right? Oh, you sweet summer child. Yeah, that's not what happened. But real quick before we get into that, I would like to once more shamelessly plug my limited edition glow-in-the-dark ducky plushies that I have partnered with Makeshift to make for you guys. Now you guys know me, Papa August is gonna take care of you, so I pulled some strings, I worked my magic, and I got the cutoff to buy one of these guys extended until the end of the month. So now you have until the 31st to buy one of these bad boys, but like I've been saying, after that, they will never be available for sale ever again. So if you want one, don't wait. If you're interested in one, there will be a link in the description, but that's enough of that. You see, Twitch has a pretty long history of doing stuff like this. This doesn't really come as a surprise to anybody who's kind of familiar with Twitch. These kinds of streams have been Twitch's top earners for many years at this point. Sure, maybe they'd like to hide it when it comes to talking to people like advertisers, but the sheer amount of money that these streams bring in for Twitch through subs and bits, it's too much for them to stomach ever getting rid of this kind of content. So what do? They just bend the rules. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Twitch has had some pretty crazy rule changes to make content like this allowed. Obviously, the most notable one is the hot tub workaround, but I think the changes implemented yesterday might just take the cake for the craziest collection of rule bends we've ever seen. Allow me to show you. Now, since I just made a video on this a couple of days ago, I actually have a screenshot of the rule that these streams were obviously violating. Unfortunately, I blurred the rest of it to draw attention to this one in the middle, and I did not save the unblurred version, and Wayback Machine does not like the Twitch community guidelines page, so I can't find the whole page, unfortunately. But just to give you an idea of how drastic everything has been changed, just 2 days ago, content intended to draw attention to an individual's buttocks, groin, or breast for a prolonged time, and having these body parts take up a majority of the frame is still prohibited. Considering that the star of the show for the streams in question was just these women's breasts, obviously, they were violating this rule. Not anymore though, because if we hop on over to the updated Twitch community guidelines page, now that Twitch has implemented its quote artistic nudity exception, this is what this page reads now. As long as you have a content classification label, which is basically just the tags on Twitch, you can now have content that focuses on clothed intimate body parts such as the buttocks, groin, or breasts, body writing or body art, content with a focus on fictionalized, exposed female presenting breasts and or fully exposed genitals or buttocks regardless of gender. Stripteases and other erotic dances that involve actual disrobing or disrobing gestures are all now perfectly okay as long as you have a content classification label. My favorite update to this page might be at the very bottom though, under things that do not require labeling, including popular dance forms like twerking and athletic pole dancing. Guys, it's finally happened. Twitch is now just a porn site. So what does this mean? A few things. You might be wondering, okay, that's a lot of awesome additions, but what about the streams we were seeing over the last couple of weeks? And as far as I can tell, the section in the community guidelines that prohibited those streams is now gone. There's not a section explicitly saying it's allowed like it is now with drawn things or fictional things, but there's also not a section saying you can't do it either. And every single mention of boobies in the community guidelines specifically refers to not being able to show your nipples, so I feel like once these bans expire, the people doing those streams are just gonna go right back to doing them, which I'm sure will make many Twitter users happy. But that's not really the issue at hand. Those people people that were doing those streams are banned. I haven't seen anybody else doing them since, so what's the problem? If people aren't doing those streams anymore, well, it seems like Twitch kind of made a good move here, right? Well, not really. So not only are we going to see the most egregious exploitation of both the rules involving content that focuses on clothed intimate body parts being allowed and twerking being allowed now, the real stinker is this one right here. Content with a focus on fictionalized, drawn, animated, or sculpted, exposed female presenting breasts and or fully exposed genitals or buttocks regardless of gender. Some examples include figure drawing exercises of fully nude women, zooming into artwork where characters' nude buttocks are visible, and then avatars that translate streamers' real-life movement into digital characters are subject to our adult nudity and attire policies and may be prohibited. So, what does this mean? It means that if you go onto the art category on Twitch that I don't think anybody knew existed until today, it's just porn. And I don't mean like how if you go onto the just chatting category, it's a lot of women in hot tubs. If you go onto the art category of Twitch, it's just porn. This rule has effectively monetized hentai on Twitch. Half the streams are not even people actually drawing. It's half people just making lewd art, not art that involves nudity for artistic purposes. It's just Rule 34 kind of stuff. And the other half is people just presenting slideshows of their personal spank bank. But since it's fictional, since it's artistic, it's perfectly allowed and monetizable, which is definitely a step back for Twitch. Up until this point, at least Twitch had the decency to act like they didn't want porn on their website, but now they've opened the floodgates. They want to parade like a family-friendly 13-plus website that's suitable for teenagers, while simultaneously okaying streaming porn into their pre-existing categories, as long as you put a content label, because having an exclusive 18-plus only section on their website would be too scary for advertisers. So instead, to assure that they make the most money from every avenue possible, they just subject everybody that wants to use their website to porn, because guess what? Even with these content labels, there's no thumbnail blurring, there's no account required to look at these streams. If you go onto Twitch right now with no account, no nothing, and you go onto the just chatting category, or especially the art category, you will think you opened up a very different website. These content labels do absolutely nothing, and it's just gross, it's predatory. Like I said in my last video on Twitch, and like I've said a million times before, I don't care if you want to do porn or watch porn. I am the absolute furthest thing from a prude, but okaying stuff like this on a website where you know who your main demographic is, it's just not cool. Twitch knows what they're doing. They want a slice of the pie from one of the biggest industries on the planet without having to launch a separate website for cam girls. Why would they when they can just implement these rules and play dumb acting like they think it's for artistic expression just so they stay compliant with federal guidelines and they can keep their 13-plus rating? Like I said, I don't have any problem with this kind of content, but when you're a website like Twitch, you shouldn't be allowing it. You know that drawings of Zelda getting railed by Ganondorf is not being viewed for artistic appreciation, and you know that you're not allowing twerking so that people don't get in trouble when they live stream a wedding and someone's dancing in the background. And yeah, that's actually their reasoning for allowing twerking back on the website. It's just gross. It's weird to watch a huge corporation like this play so dumb like we can't see through it. You want to make extra money, you don't want to throw away all the revenue from these kinds of streams? Okay, I don't think anybody really blames you for that. It's a lot of money, but just do the bare minimum that every other website that features content like this does and make an 18-plus only section. The only reason Twitch won't do this is because of advertisers. I don't know if you guys have ever been on some of these other 18-plus websites I'm referencing, but the advertisements you see are not exactly for things like McDonald's. Twitch does not want to scare off advertisers, and that's the only reason they're doing this. That's it. They would probably make more money from bits and subs if they made a section like this, because then people could just get naked, but they would lose money from advertisers, and a big corporation would never willingly do something that causes that. So likely, until Twitch goes under or is bought by like Elon Musk, we will continue to see rule changes like this that expose people to things they probably shouldn't be seeing, all in the name of the mighty dollar. Well guys, what do you think? Is this the worst rule change Twitch has ever implemented? I honestly think it might be. Obviously, the hot tub stuff was pretty insane, but at least it was kind of funny. Like, haha, fair play. Okay, bring the hot tub inside. We get it. This is just like, hey, we're gonna close our eyes and look the other direction. Anything goes as long as you're not showing your butthole on stream. Good luck. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.